Hello, my name is Rita, and in this video, I will focus on the everyday contemporary life in the UK, especially in what concerns leisure, hobbies, and holidays. Before talking about hobbies, I would like to introduce how this term came from. According to Merriam-Webster, in the 1400s, the word hobby could refer to a real-life horse, to a horse costume worn by the dancers in a Morris dance, or to a child's toy. Later, another meaning of hobby horse was a favorite pursuit or pastime, which evolved to the modern word hobby, which is an activity that one does for pleasure when not working. By the mid-18th century, there was a flourishing of hobbies, since the active population had more regular hours of work and greater leisure time, and they had opportunities to pursue interests that brought them satisfaction. According to the book Time Consumption and Everyday Life Practice, Materiality and Culture, the idea of the hobby being used as a way of giving purpose to life is analyzed. During the 50s and 60s, hobbies were prescribed for employed men to give structure and purpose to life. Also, hobby was used for health purposes and were discussed in terms of therapy. For instance, office workers needed hobbies to relax after work to not get ulcers. Hobbies were considered therefore as escape attempts by people who believed themselves to be doing something serious and free. In the book British Civilization by John Auckland, we can note that the leisure activities in earlier centuries, apart from some high cultural interests that were only exclusive to the metropolitan elite, were highly affected due to the rural and agricultural nature of British life. Villages were isolated and transport was poor or even non-existent. Therefore, people were limited to their villages and had to create their own entertainments. So, from the 18th century onwards, the improvement in transport and road conditions allowed the rural population to travel to neighboring towns where they could now enjoy a variety of amusements and wider social opportunities, for instance. With the development in the industrialization of the 19th century, as well as more people now being able to move to towns and cities, theater, concerts, musicals, and sports become more frequent activities and became also available to more people. George Orwell, an English essayist of the 20th century, stated that the English are enthusiastic hobbyists. In fact, the English are known for being a nation of flower lovers, amateur carpenters, pigeon lovers, dart players, or even cross-word puzzle fans. The statistics also indicate that Britain is a more affluent society that attempts to spend a larger part of personal income on leisure activities. Yet, the access to leisure, sports, and arts is unevenly distributed in population because it is dependent upon purchasing power, income, opportunity, and availability also. Nonetheless, British nowadays enjoy a wide variety of leisure activities, and this happened due to new availability of opportunities. And despite their relatively long working hours and busy lives, nowadays more people have more free time, and many of the workers have at least 4 weeks holiday a year, in addition to public holidays such as Christmas, Easter, and bank holidays. So in this way, there is a higher demand for pubs, cinemas, shops, and other establishments to be open for longer periods of time in the week, but also at the weekends. But what are the most British famous pastimes? According to Anglotopia, which is a website dedicated to the British culture and lifestyle, in the article The Most Popular British Pastimes Ever, the authors chose four traditional pastimes which are more popular in the British life and that have been present for many centuries. The first one is bingo. In the old days, nearly every town in Britain had a bingo wall that offered pleasant nights for many. But nowadays, to appeal to young and new generations, the game has been reinvented, and the pastime look now more as nightclubs. The second pastime is the afternoon tea, which had become very popular in British households. However, the afternoon tea is not that common nowadays, since people have to work and not have time to stop at 5 p.m. to have tea. Nonetheless, afternoon tea still a very important part of the British culture, either at home or in a charming venue on special occasions, for instance. Now let's talk about croquet, which is also one of the British favorite pastimes. Gardens that have a lawn in the houses, they can play croquet, which is more appreciated during the summertime. As an example of how popular this pastime is in the UK, the famous tennis tournament at Wimbledon was originally founded as a croquet club. The last most popular pastime is the pub. Going to the pub is one of the Britain's longest standing traditions. However, in recent years, there has been a boom of bars and clubs with the standing opening hours, and the clubs that offer music and drinks attracts young people and becomes a considerable competitor to the traditional pub. Uh, the typology of pubs can also vary. They can be in city or in the rural areas. And in the rural areas, they are usually quite rural establishments with traditional games. And in the cities, they have different sorts of entertainments, such as drama and live music, for instance. In the pubs, people can also watch sport events on TV, and most of them also have karaoke nights. People of all ages and occupations can socialize in the pubs, and strangers can often start a conversation together. Now let's talk about the British drinking habits. They have changed because with now lager and continental beers now more popular than traditional beers. In general, people in Britain now drink more than they used to. So if people go to the pub with a group of friends, they might have to buy a round of drinks, and each person has a turn to buy everyone else a drink, which can be very expensive. When we talk about UK, we also need to talk about sports. The UK is also known for being the place where football and rugby were first played, the home of the most famous tennis venue, as well as the origin of cricket. Football is undoubtedly the national game of the United Kingdom. Names as Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea have international pulling power, placing the UK at the center of the sporting world. Horse racing also contributes to one of the most appreciated sports, and it's also the focus of much betting. The media covers the horse racing, namely the Sky TV channel, that offers a bespoke subscription channel called Sky Sports Racing. Arts also have an important role in the British society. There is a wide scope of museums and galleries in Britain, and the entry to most of them is free. So that is why they are perfect places to enjoy art and spend time. Besides that, there are several professional arts and cultural festivals held each year throughout Britain, many of which are of a very high standard and appeal to diverse tastes. The most famous British festivals are Glastonbury Festival, BBC Proms in the Park, Isle of Wight Festival, among others. Despite television, cinema, and electronic media, reading is still an important leisure activity for many men and women in Britain. In 2020, the website YouGov analyzed the reading habits of the British people. So they stated that British still prefer a paperback over an ebook, and most prefer to do their readings before going to bed. 1 in 5 Britons describe themselves as an avid reader, and 19% of UK adults reads every day. British people read everywhere, even in the underground. So now let's talk about a very important part of the British life, which are holidays. Holidays are great occasions to break free from our daily routines. And during the mid 70s, the idea of modern tourism first appeared because it was a time when many people in Britain started to think of holidays as a necessity rather than a luxury. British people now have more free time and holidays than they ever did, as the average number of working hours also has fallen. So by the mid 1980s, almost all full-time manual employees were entitled to 4 weeks holiday or more, in addition to the public holidays, including Christmas, Easter, etc. And by 1975, the majority of workers had 2 weeks or more of paid vacations. And in the British life, holidays and where to spend them become a very important part of the everyday life. In 2019, and according to statistics, the UK's top travel destinations are Spain, France, and Italy. And because of the coronavirus pandemic that started in 2020, traveling trends suffer changes. The UK government has advised British to avoid all but necessary travel, which has naturally resulted in less tourism and fewer jobs in the tourism industry. In more normal times, a British holiday is usually a seaside holiday, and popular seaside places are in Blackpool, Scarborough, and Bournemouth. Now let's also talk about a very important part of the British life, which are holidays and special days in Great Britain. Starting in January and going all the way through December, many celebrations take place annually in the UK, and some of the most important I'm going to mention in this video. We start with the New Year's Day, which is in January 1st. It's a bank holiday. Then we have 12th night and Epiphany. For example, in this day, some people host parties and serve 12th night cakes, which are baked with one dry pea and one dry bean. And if the partygoers get one of them in slice of cake, they are crowned the evening's king or queen. Then we have St. Patrick's Day. While most of the United Kingdom does not celebrate St. Patrick's Day, it is an important religious holiday in Northern Ireland that honors the life and death of St. Patrick, which is the Ireland's patron saint. Then we have Easter, the Easter that happens in March or April. And on Easter Sunday, many people attend church to commemorate Jesus Christ's resurrection. And modern Easter celebrations frequently include egg decorating or even Easter egg hunts in which children have to find the eggs. Then we have St. George Day, which is England's national day, that commemorates the life and death of St. George, which is claimed to have killed a dragon, and parades, celebrations, and waving of flags bearing the St. George cross are common observances. Then we have the May Day. In the United Kingdom, the first Monday of May is a bank holiday. in which is celebrated in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But in Scotland, it is known as the early May bank holiday. Then we have a very important event in June, which is Trooping the Colour. Trooping the Colour is an annual celebration in which the British Army and Commonwealth regiments carry out a parade that dates back to the 17th century and is also known as the Queen's Birthday Parade. Then we have the bonfire in November, which is an annual celebration of the failure of an attempt to blow up the House of Parliament in 1605. And at night, fireworks are lit, and many families make Guy Fawkes and burn them in bonfires. And because the day is so close to Halloween, many people blend the two holidays. Some even wear Guy Fawkes masks. Then we have St. Andrew's Day in November, which is the Scotland's national day, where many Scots mark the day with particular dances and festivities. Then we have in December the Christmas, which is traditionally celebrated. And then we have the Boxing Day in December 26th, which traditionally is the day after Christmas, which was the day that servants were able to celebrate Christmas because the day before they had been serving their owners. So people nowadays shop at day after Christmas sales to commemorate this occasion. To conclude this video, I would like to talk about an idea of a writer, R.I. Stevenson, a 19th century writer that denounced overwork and overbusiness in his article An Apology to for Idlers. He advised his readers to make time to enjoy an activity, relax, drink tea, to play a musical instrument, in short, to do anything that is not referred to as work. Because the primary goal of a hobby is to provide enjoyment. It provides us with both mental and physical relaxation, and taking a little break from work and doing something we enjoy might revitalize our mind and help us to better face challenges in the future. So the leisure's social, cultural, and economic importance is growing not only in the UK, but also around the world. Activities as reading, watching television, mingling with friends and family, participating in sports, going to historic sites, museums, galleries, taking a vacation, going to the seaside, etc., etc., are all important and vital components of modern life and also very important parts of the modern economies. Thank you very much for your kind attention. These are my references, and I hope you liked my video. Thank you.